we shall now take up the discussion of the mock exam 4. Okay. Now, so here we are taking physics, CET or Neet mock exam 4. Okay. You look at the first question. Question number 1. Study the question carefully. Horizontal range of a projectile fired at an angle of 15 degree is 50 meter. If it is fired with the same speed at an angle of 45 degree, then its range will be. Remember, here answer for this question is equal to 100 meter. That is answer is C. ಹೇಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅವನು he has thrown in this velocity train graph, he has thrown first with a velocity u making an angle of 15 degree. Now he says it is 45 degree and now what is the range? Okay, with the same speed. So ಇದಿದ್ದಾಗ range r1, ಇದಿದ್ದಾಗ r2. Speed is same ಅಲ್ವಾ? What is the expression for your range? The range is given by the formula u square by g into sine 2 theta is the expression for the horizontal range. Speed is same, g is same, therefore your r is proportional to, so sine theta, r is proportional to sine 2 theta. You apply for this, therefore your r2 by r1 is equal to sine 2 theta 2 divided by sine 2 theta 1. Okay, so therefore sine of 2 into theta is 45, theta 2 is 45, and sine of 2 into it is theta is equal to 15 degree. Therefore sine 45 into 2 is equal to sine 90, so sine 90 is equal to 1. You know that it is sine 90 and this is sine 30. Sine 30 is equal to half, therefore it is 1 divided by half, that comes out to be equal to 2. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, therefore your r2 by r1 is equal to 2 ಆದರೆ range 2 is equal to 2 into r1. r1 is 50, therefore your r2 is equal to 2 into 50, therefore your r2 is equal to 100 meters. Okay, so this is the solution for the first question. Okay, the range is 100 meters. Okay, next is the question number 2. Study the question carefully. What determines the nature of the path followed by the projectile? So you remember that always this is the acceleration, and therefore your answer for this question is C, because you know that any force is an acceleration, mass is constant, so therefore your F is proportional to the A. On applying the force, the body gets accelerated. Acceleration is the one which determines the nature of the path followed. Okay, next the question number 3. A body is moving unidirectional under the influence of the sources of a constant power supplying energy. Which of the following diagram best represents the displacement time curve for its motion? Okay, so for this your answer is B. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಲಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಗ್ರಾಫನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪವರ್, ಯುವರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ಟು ದ t to the power of 2 by 3. Okay, and therefore so it is directly proportional to the t to the power of 3 by 2. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ದ ಅಪ್ರೋಪ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಅ graph of S versus T, or the displacement versus the T is given by the response B. This is the one. Okay, next is the question number 4. The displacement graph for the particles A and B are straight line inclined at an angle of 30 degree and 60 degree with the time axis. The ratio of the velocities are. See, remember, if the velocity time graph, look at this in the, so this is the velocity in the time display, the displacement time graph. Okay, you know that. So study the question carefully. Displacement time graph of two particles A and B So here the displacement and the time graph, and are straight line, and they are inclined at the angle of 30 degree and 60 degree. 30 degree and another is a 60 degree. Okay. Now what is this question? Calculate the ratio of their velocities. Remember, if you take the slope for the time displacement curve, if you take a slope, that logic you should know that the slope is equal to opposite side divided by the adjacent side tan theta, and which is nothing but the velocity. You should know that the slope of the time displacement graph would give the velocity. Okay, therefore you know that there is nothing but the tan theta, because the slope is equal to tan theta. Now you apply this for the two bodies. It is VA by VB is equal to tan of theta A plus tan of theta B, and therefore your VA VB theta is equal to 60, one is 30 degree, so tan of 30 degree divided by tan of 60 degree. You know that the value of tan of, so 30 degree is equal to 1 by root 3, and your tan of 60 degree is equal to, and therefore this value is equal to root of 3, and therefore this 1 by 3 comes out to be equal to the 3, and therefore your VA by VB is equal to, so 1:3, and therefore answer for this question is 1:3, and therefore for the fourth question this is answer is D. So answer for this question is D. Okay, next. During the inelastic collision, you study that question carefully. He says during the inelastic collision, it is not elastic, during the inelastic collision, which of the following quantities remain conserved? See, of all the alternatives given there, in an inelastic collision, total linear momentum is always conserved, and therefore you mark for the answer for this question is C. That is the total linear momentum. The total linear momentum is conserved, but the energy is not conserved. So here linear momentum is conserved, but kinetic energy or the energy is not conserved. Okay, next is the question number 6. For which of the following does the center of mass lie outside the body? So for this question, answer is D. So for the ring or for a bangle, this is for the ring, the center of mass always lies outside the body. Okay, next, question number 7. In our solar system, the interplanetary region has a chunks of matter much smaller in size compared to the planet, and they are called asteroids. Okay, what happens? They are, you mark for the last one, will move in the orbit like a planet and obey the Kepler's laws. Okay, so answer is D for this question. So you know that here is one planet, so let us say it is equal to Earth, and here is another planet, and between this, what the thing that you are finding, they are revolving around, and therefore remember that they also obey the Kepler's law of planetary motion. Therefore answer for this question is D. Next, question number 8. See, in the question number 8, study the question carefully. The maximum load a wire can withstand without breaking, when the length is reduced to half of its original length, will remain. So again, without breaking, when the length is reduced to half. Andre ivaga, here is the body, and he has applied the force. Now what he does is, he reduces the length, total length, to half of its original value. Now his problem is, when its length is reduced to half of its original length, then what happens to the maximum load? There is no change in the maximum load acting on it. And therefore your answer is D. For this question, answer is D. So your remember your stress is equal to force by area. Force andre it's a load, and therefore your force is equal to stress into area. See here, what the thing that is changing is the length is changing, area is not changing. Therefore, even if with this one and your force remains the constant. Therefore, you mark for the last alternative. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏರಿಯಾ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಲೆಂತ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಹಾಫ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ your load remains the same. Okay, so therefore you mark for the alternative D. Currently we have taken a castor oil ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Castor oil is a viscous liquid. ಯಾವುದೇ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ವಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಯಾವುದ್ಯಾವುದೋ ಅಲ್ಲ. ನೀನು ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ, ಒಂದು ರೌಂಡ್ ಪೆಬಲನ್ನು ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ. ಹೀಗೆ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಇದು ಆಯಿಲ್ ಫಾಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಫಾಸ್ಟಾಗಿ ಬಂದು ಇನ್ನೇನು ಇದು ಟಚ್ ಆದಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಪೀಡಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರಾವಿಟಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಈ ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬಂದಮೇಲೆ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಇವೆರಡರ ನಡುವೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಡಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಟೈಮ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಟಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಅವಾಗ ಇವರ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಟೈಮ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಸ್ ಎ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು, ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಮೋಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ರಿಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಸಿ. ಇದು ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಪ್ಯಾರಾಶೂಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಶೂಟನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಇಂದ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಜಂಪ್ ಔಟ್, ಅವಾಗಲೂ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ನೀವು ಜಂಪ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಸ್ಪೀಡಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆವಾಗ ಓಪನ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಜರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟೈಮ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಡೌನ್ ವಿತ್ ಎ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್. ಏರ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಡೌನ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಅಂಡ್ ಅವಾಗ ದಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 10. Question number 10. The question is, a bimetallic strip is made up of aluminum and a steel. On heating, the strip will remain on heating the strip. Mark for the answer D. So answer for this question is D. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು ಇದು. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಮೆಟಲ್ ಎ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮೆಟಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಂತ ಎರಡು ಥರದ ಮೆಟಲ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಬೈಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಪ್ ಥರ್ಮೋಮೀಟರ್ ಅಂತ. ಇದೊಂದು ಮೆಟಲ್ಲು, ಇದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಮೆಟಲ್ಲು, ಎರಡು ಮೆಟಲ್ನ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಅವ್ನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಹೀಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬೈಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಪ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಥರ್ಮೋಮೀಟರ್. ಹೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನಿಯಂ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಪ್ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೀಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಅವ್ನು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ರಿಮೈನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್. ನೋ, ಅವಾಗ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಪ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬೆಂಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನಿಯಂ ಆನ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಕೇವ್ ಸೈಡ್, ರಾಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಗೆಟ್ ಟ್ವಿಸ್ಟೆಡ್, ರಾಂಗ್. Will be bent with the steel on the concave side. So therefore, adkoskarane your answer for this question is D. Okay. Next, question number 11. Study the question carefully. An ideal gas undergoes 4 different processes from the same initial state of pressure. Within the PV diagram, the 4 processes are adiabatic, isothermal, isobaric and isochoric. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, which one is adiabatic? Here answer for this question is, that is C is the answer, and your correct is the second one. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಪಿ ವಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಪಿ ವಿ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ನಂಬರ್ 1. ಈಗ ಈ ಥರ ಡೌನ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ನಂಬರ್ 1. ಏನು ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನೀವೇ ನೋಡಿ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಐಸೋಕೋರಿಕ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ನೋಡಿ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್, ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಇದು ಐಸೋಕೋರಿಕ್ ನಂಬರ್ 1. ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ ನಂಬರ್ 2. ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ನಂಬರ್ 2. ಸೊ ನಂಬರ್ 2 ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಈ ಥರ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ಅಡಿಯಾಬೆಟಿಕ್ ಇದು. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ ನಂಬರ್ 3 ನೋಡಿ, ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಬೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಬಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಐಸೋಥರ್ಮ್. ಸೊ ನಂಬರ್ 2 ಇದು ನಂಬರ್ 3 ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಐಸೋಥರ್ಮಲ್. 2 is adiabatic. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅವರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಅಡಿಯಾಬೆಟಿಕ್. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಈ ಥರ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಐಸೋಕೋರಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್, ಐಸೋಬಾರಿಕ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಐಸೋಬಾರಿಕ್ ಇದು ಐಸೋಥರ್ಮಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇದು ಐಸೋಕೋರಿಕ್ ಅಂತ. ಐಸೋಕೋರಿಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಡಿಯಾಬೆಟಿಕ್. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಒನ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಥವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ನಾಟ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಕಾರ್ನಾಟ್ ಸೈಕಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗಿಂದ ಗ್ರಾಫನ್ನ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಂಥವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ಐಸೋಥರ್ಮ್, ಇದು ನೋಡಿ ಅಡಿಯಾಬೆಟಿಕ್. ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಇದು ವಾಪಸ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸರ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಇವೆರಡು ಐಸೋಥರ್ಮ್, ಇದು ಐಸೋಥರ್ಮಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇದು ಅಡಿಯಾಬೆಟಿಕ್. ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮರ್ತೋದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಬೇಕು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಾರ್ನಾಟ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ is a question number 12. Question number 12. What it says? Volume versus temperature graph for a given mass of an ideal gas are as shown in the figure at two different values of constant pressure. That means at two constant pressures ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. One is a pressure P1, ಅದು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು pressure P2, that is constant. ಅಲ್ಲ ಚಾರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಲಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. What can be inferred from the above relation? You mark for the P1 greater than P2, that is answer for this question is A. That is your P1 is greater than P2. Answer idu. He has given the graph of the volume versus the temperature graph he has given. This is a graph. So in this graph, so you have is a Charles law. One is the pressure P1 and other is the pressure P2. But when pressure is constant, as the temperature increases, volume also increases. That is nothing but the Charles law. You know that there is a Charles law. So according to the Charles law, your V by T is equal to constant. That is this graph. This is also the Charles law graph. ಇದೆರಡು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, and therefore ಇದು ಸ್ಲೋಪ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು P1 ಇಂದು ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸ್ಲೋಪ್ ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ, ಇದು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ. therefore ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನು ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ P1 is greater than pressure P2. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಆನ್ಸರ್ is A for this question. Okay, next is the question number 13. Come to the question number 13. A particle is acted upon simultaneously, mutually perpendicular, simple harmonic motion. X is equal to A cos of omega t, Y is equal to A sin of omega t. The trajectory of the particle will be, look, here he has two simple harmonic motions which are mutually perpendicular, he says. So ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, one of this here is a X is equal to A cos of omega t and your Y is equal to A sin of omega t. ಇವಾಗ ಅವನೇನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಎರಡು ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲಿ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಪರ್ಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾವೆ X and Y. ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಡ್ X square plus Y square is equal to, you know that A square cos square omega t sin square omega t ಆದರೆ it becomes a X square plus Y square is nothing but is equal to A square is nothing but the circle. So ಅಂದ್ರೆ what is the trajectory? Trajectory is a circle and therefore you mark for the answer C. Okay, remember that. Next is the question number 14. The question is, a particle is executing simple harmonic motion, has a maximum speed of 30 centimeter per second. So maximum velocity is equal to 30 centimeters per second and maximum acceleration is, so therefore A max is equal to 60 centimeters per second. then the period of the oscillation ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬೈಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿಗೆ ಫಾರ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ಯುವರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು, ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, this is equal to a into omega is the formula, omega a. In omega a ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ omega is the angular velocity, angular frequency, a is the amplitude. For acceleration, and for acceleration, that is for the maximum acceleration, your formula would be omega square into a. ಎರಡನ್ನು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ, a max by vm, that comes out to be, ಎರಡು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Therefore if you just work it out, omega a and this is equal to omega, and you know that this omega is equal to, so 2 pi by t. ನೀವು ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದೇನು t, your t is equal to 2 pi into, so this is equal to v max by a max. Okay, therefore this is equal to 2 pi into v max is equal to, he has given it as a 30 and this as a 60. 31s are 32s are 2 to get cancelled. Therefore your period is equal to 5 seconds. Okay, so what is the answer for this question is equal to, for the question number 14, the answer is only just 5 seconds. Therefore you can find the answer at A. Therefore answer is A. Okay, ನೀವೇನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ನೋಡಿ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು, ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ, ಈ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಇವರ್ y is equal to a sin of omega t. ಸೊ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದಾಗ a omega cos of omega t, ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ಇದು 1 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕದು. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, 1 ಆದಾಗ ಯುವರ್ v becomes, it is equal to a omega. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಶಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ acceleration is equal to a omega, so minus of sin of omega t ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, which comes out to be omega square y ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. Okay, next now we come to the question number 15. A string of mass 2.5 kg is under the tension of 200 Newton. The length of the stretched string is equal to 20 meters. If the transverse jerk is struck at one of the end of the string, the disturbance will reach the other end in. Okay, ನೋಡಿ ಇದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೋನೋಮೀಟರ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಪಿ ಸಿ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋನೋಮೀಟರ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. He has put it under the tension of 200 Newton. The total length is equal to 20 meter and he has given the mass of it. ಇದು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಲೆಂತ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇವಾಗ ಅವನು ಏನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಹಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ ಇಟ್, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಈ ಥರ ಪ್ಲಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಎ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ಸ್ ವೇವ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಅಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್. ಈಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್. And you know that the velocity is equal to distance traversed divided by the time taken. Distance traversed divided by the time taken. What do you want to calculate is time. Time is equal to L by V, equation number 1. Well, length he has given, it is to be equal to the 20. Now it is the velocity. Remember, your velocity is given by the formula root of t by m. Velocity of a transverse wave is given by root of t by m. ಸರ್ ಎಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಎಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಮಾಸ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಲೆಂತ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ವೈರ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಥಿಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ, ದಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ y by x, ಮಾಸ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಲೆಂತ್. And that mass per unit length is, mass he has given, how much of mass he has given? 2.5 kg of mass divided by 20 meter he has given so much of kg per meter. So ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ 20 by 200 ಅಂತ. ಅವಾಗ therefore you will come to know that ಇದು 5 ಒಂದ್ಲಿ 5 ಐದ್ಲಿ 5 4ಲಿ 40 ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ 25ರಿಂದನೇ ಹೊರಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು. ಸೊ therefore 25 ಒಂದ್ಲಿ 25 8ಲಿ ಹೊರಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ. therefore it is equal to 1 by 8 ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿ, you calculate the velocity. Velocity is equal to root of tension is given to be 200 divided by your this m is equal to 1 by 8. 2.5 by 200 ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 25 by 200 1 by 8 ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 8ರಲ್ಲಿ 16 ಪ್ಲಸ್ 00, so it is 4 into 10 and therefore it is equal to 40 meters per second. Now you substitute that t is equal to 20 divided by this velocity is equal to 40. So aವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗೋಯ್ತು, it's equal to 1/2 or it is called as a 0.5 seconds. ಅಂದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ it will take 0.5 seconds. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಿದೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬಿ ಇದೆ, therefore you mark for the B as answer. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇದು? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ PUC ಇದು. ಸೊ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ is equal to root of t by m ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. That is a one. Okay, next. Study those questions carefully. What is the question given there? An electric charge QQ minus Q are placed at the corners of an equilateral triangle ABC. Then of the each of the length L, then the magnitude of the electric dipole moment of the system is. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನೋಡಿ, he has placed 3 charges A, B and C. How much of charge he has placed? You know that it's equal to Q and minus 2Q. So therefore here it is equal to Q, here is a Q, here it is minus 2Q. Okay. ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು what is the net? Study the question. The magnitude of the electric dipole moment of the whole system ಎಷ್ಟಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಡೈಪೋಲ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನಾವು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಿ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಇರೋದು ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ಒನ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಬರಿತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಐ ರೈಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ, ಇದು ಒಂದು ಡೈಪೋಲ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟು, ಇದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಡೈಪೋಲ್ ಮೊಮೆಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಿ. ದೇರ್ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೇಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೌ this is the resultant one. This is the resultant dipole moment. How to calculate the resultant dipole moment? So you know that your resultant dipole moment is given by, the resultant dipole moment is given by root of, it is equal to p square plus this is also p square plus 2 p into p into the angle between the equilateral triangle, it is equal to 60 degree. So you know that it is equal to, when theta is 60, cos 60 is equal to half. ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು, cos 60 and 2 get cancelled, and therefore ಅವ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 2p square plus therefore it comes out to be 3p square, which is nothing but the root 3 into p. Okay, ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. There you search for the answers, but p is not given. He has given q into L, and therefore your answer is equal to q into L, and this is the resultant dipole moment. Okay, so due to these two, due to the system of 3 charges, what's the net dipole moment? And that's the dipole moment. Net dipole moment is given like this. Okay, next. Therefore answer for this question is equal to root 3 into QL, and there it is, the answer is equal to C. Come to question number 17. Electrostatic potential on the surface of a charged conducting sphere is 100 volt. Two statements are made. This is electrostatic potential on the charged conducting sphere. Potential is 100 volt. ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? What is the statement? At any point inside the sphere, electric intensity is 0. Definitely. So it is charged when the potential is 0 inside the charged sphere. According to Gauss theorem, you know that the electric field is equal to 0. That statement is right. And study the next statement carefully. Okay. The second statement is that he says at any point inside the sphere, electrostatic potential is 100 volt. Yes, if it is 100, you know that the potential inside the charged sphere is same as the potential on the sphere. Now which are the alternative? A, one is true, other is false. Wrong. Both S1 and S2 are false. Wrong. S1 is true and S2 is also true, and it is a cause. Mark for the C. Therefore your answer for this is equal to C. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಇದು cause ಅಂತ ಯಾಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಲಿ. Inside the sphere this potential is constant. When the potential is constant, potential difference is 0. Alva? Avaga, you know that according to this relation dV by dx, This is equal to 0 by dx ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗೋಯ್ತು electric field is 0 and that is the reason. ಅಂದ್ರೆ one is the reason for the other ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. Okay, is the question number 18. Next one is the question number 18. Two spheres A and B of radius two spheres A and B have a radius A and B respectively are at the same electric potential. Ratio of the surface charge density is ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಎರಡು ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್ ಇದೆ. One is a sphere A with radius A, another is a sphere with radius B. One is A and other is B. ಈಗ ಅವನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, they have the same electric potential ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆನೂ potential is same, V1 is equal to V2. His question is the ratio of the surface charge density. What is the formula for the potential? Formula for the potential is, so your sigma by epsilon naught into R. R is the radius. ಇಲ್ಲಿ radius ಏನಂತ ಬರೀತೀರಾ? A. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ sigma 1 ಅಂತ ಬರೀರಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ sigma into epsilon naught into B. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು. Therefore your epsilon ಇದು sigma to B ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So therefore ratio of the surface charge densities are sigma 1 and sigma 2 is equal to, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು, you want this one, therefore it is equal to B by A. This is the appropriate answer. Okay, therefore ನೀವು ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ತೆಗೆದು ನೋಡಿ, ನೋಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿ ಬರ್ಸಿರ್ತೀನಿ ಇದನ್ನ. Okay, therefore your answer for this question is B. Therefore your answer is B. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು. Okay, so these are all very very important things, ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ. Next is the question number 19. Study the question number 19 carefully. The question is, a bullet of mass 2 gram having a charge of 2 microcoulomb, through what potential difference it must be accelerated starting from rest to acquire a speed of 10 meter per second. ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. A mass of 2 gram is having a charge of 2 microcoulomb. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಬಾಡಿ ಇದೆ, ಅದರ ಮಾಸ್ m ಇದೆ, he has given some charge, it is at rest, it will acquire a speed of v. ಅವನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದೇನು ಇವಾಗ, through what potential difference it must be accelerated from rest to acquire a speed, ಅಂದ್ರೆ it should acquire a kinetic energy. And ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ? You know that your W is equal to Q into V is the original formula. It has to acquire a kinetic energy ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ half mv square is equal to Q into V. ಅವನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು through what potential difference, ಇದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ V ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. Therefore your V is equal to half mv square divided by Q, half of, for the value of m he has given it as a 2 grams, 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3, and he has said the speed is equal to 10 meter per second, 10 square. Charge he has given it as a 2 microcoulomb, 2 into 10 to the power of minus 6. ಈ 2 ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಫ್ ಹಾಗೆ ಇದೆ, 10 to the power of minus 6 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ 10 to the power of plus 3 into 10 square is equal to ಎಷ್ಟಾಗೋಯ್ತು 100. ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ನೋಡಿ, ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ನೋಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ you will come to know that it is equal to 100 and it is equal to 50 and therefore it is 50,000 volt. 50,000 volt or it is equal to 50 kilovolt. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಸಮಯ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಲುಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. Okay, therefore to what potential, what is the potential difference should be? The potential should be 50,000 volt. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Next is the question number 20. Question number 20. The distance between the two plates of a parallel plate capacitor is D. So the distance between the two plates of a capacitor is D. Now what it does is, a metal plate of thickness d by 2 is placed between the two plates. So ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, so this is the one, so ಈ ಎರಡು ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ಸ್ ನಡುವೆ the thickness d by 2 is introduced between them. Total d ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು d by 2 ನಲ್ಲಿ metal plate ಇಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. Now what will be the new capacitance? Here is the capacitance is equal to epsilon naught into a by d. Now on introduction of this one, the new capacitance is equal to epsilon naught into A. Here the distance is d minus d by 2. D minus d by 2. Now therefore, your new capacitance would be epsilon naught into A, and therefore it is equal to d by 2. And therefore your new capacitance is equal to 2 into epsilon naught into A by d. And therefore 2 into, which is nothing but the original value. And therefore your new capacitance is equal to twice the initial capacitance, and therefore you mark for the last alternative, that is B. Next is the question number 21. A particle A has a charge Q and particle B has a charge plus 4Q, with each of them having the same mass M. When both the particles are allowed to fall from the rest through the same potential difference, what's the ratio of the velocities, he says. So it's a very simple thing. So again, here your problem is just now what we have written. Your kinetic energy is equal to Q into V. That is a 1. So you applied for the two particles, and he says the mass is same for them. For them the mass is same, and even the potential is also same. So when you apply for this one, even the two also would get cancelled. You apply for this one, this is for A, this is QA. For half M, VB square is equal to QB into V. You divide one by the other. Half M, VB get cancelled. Therefore, your VA by VB is equal to root of QA by QB. So what is the value of the QA? QA is equal to 1 and it is equal to 4Q, okay? And therefore your the first charge is equal to Q and the next charge is equal to 4Q. Therefore your root of Q divided by 4Q get cancelled. Therefore your VA by VB is equal to 1:2. Now you search for the various alternatives given there, and of all the alternative, that is 1:2 is the answer, and therefore it is B is the answer for this question. VA is to VB is equal to 1:2. Next, question number 22. Study the question carefully. Whenever the question is given, so you have to study those questions carefully, otherwise you will not be in a position to answer this question. If the dielectric strength is a dielectric constant and the dielectric strength is denoted by K and X respectively, for a material to be used as a dielectric in the capacitor must have dielectric constant K ide, electric strength ide. Capacitor ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, for the capacitor the dielectric is important. If we increase the value of the dielectric constant, you know that the capacity would increase. Okay, so you know that the capacity is like this, it would increase. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಿರಬೇಕು ಆವಾಗ, your K should be high, so K is high, that's a dielectric constant. Next, what else he has said? He has said another is the dielectric strength, that should be also high. Andre it should record larger value of the electric field. Eradu high irodu value nodi, answer is A for this question. So eradu A irodu andre for the capacity to be increased, K nu ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. K ಯಾಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಬರೆದು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಬೇಕು. epsilon naught into K A by D. As the K increases, the capacity increases. Even electric field strength idanta ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ capacity it can withstand higher electric field. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಡುವೆ ಏನು ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ dielectric, that should not get punctured. It should retain the dielectric property ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು, dielectric strength should be more. Next is the question number 23. Question number 23. Study the question carefully. Which are the following characteristics of electrons determine the current in a conductor? It's a fact. You remember that drift velocity alone, you mark for the answer as the drift velocity alone. A, answer A. This is the one which determines the current. two wires of equal diameters, resistivity is rho 1 and rho 2, length L1 and L2 respectively are joined in series. The equivalent resistivity is diameter is same and radius is same and area is same. Area will not change. They have the resistivities rho 1 and rho 2, length are different. They are joined in series. So one is this wire and another is this wire, and one has a length L1 and another length L2, and its resistivity is rho 1 and its resistivity is equal to rho 2. It is R1 and it is R2. Series the equivalent resistivity of the combination ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, your R1 is equal to rho into L by A. ಇದು rho 1 L1 and your R2 is equal to rho into L2 by A. ಇದು rho 2. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಎರಡು ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, your RS is equal to R1 plus R2 ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ therefore ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ, since they are all in series, ಎರಡು ಸೀರೀಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ಇವಾಗ you apply the same formula, generalized formula. It is a rho effective into series ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ length ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ L1 plus L2, area is going to be the same. What is the value of R1? Rho L1 divided by A. What is this R2? Rho L2, rho 2 L2 divided by A. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ A cancel ಮಾಡಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ A cancel ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, now you look at what is the effective value you are left with. Therefore your rho effective is given by the formula. It is rho 1 L1 plus rho 2 L2 whole divided by L1 plus L2. So therefore your appropriate answer for all these things, that is A is the answer for this question. Okay, A is the answer for this question. It goes by the series combination of resistors as RS is equal to R1 plus R2. R1 ಗೊತ್ತು, R2 ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. RS is effective ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is rho effective divided into L1 plus L2, ಎರಡು ಆಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. It is A. Area ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆಗೂ constant, diameter is same. Therefore this is the answer for the question. Okay, next is the question number 20. A cell of EMF E is connected with an external resistance R. Then the potential difference across the cell is equal to V. The internal resistance would be, you know that this is the resistor R. We have connected an internal resistance like this. This is R. Here terminal potential difference is V. This is R. This is internal resistance and I is the current. Now you look at various parameters that is given. You know that from Ohm's law applied to a circuit, the total EMF E is equal to, it is equal to V plus V dash. This is V and it is V dash. Therefore your E, V plus V dash andre baro current that is voltage. Voltage is equal to ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, current into resistance. ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದೇನು, internal resistance. IR is equal to E minus V, and therefore your internal resistance is equal to E minus V divided by I. Now you look at the various things that he has given. Okay, now his problem is what is the value of, then the value of the internal resistance is equal to. So ಇವಾಗ internal resistance V is equal to ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it is E minus V by I, and ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ in this formula here your V is equal to I into R. Now therefore to adjust for the various alternatives he has given, it is equal to V by R. Now you work it out and you will get the value to be equal to E minus V by V, and this R comes to numerator. This is the expression. Okay, it's a very simple thing. Okay, question number 25. Next is the question number 26. Next is the question number 26. The question is, two wires of the same metal have the same length but their cross-sectional areas are in the ratio 3:1. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು 3 times thicker ಇದ್ರೆ so ಇದು 1 time ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. So area they are joined in series. The resistance of the thicker wire and this R1 is equal to 10 ohms. Next his question is the total resistance of the combination is, this is equal to R2. He says what is the total resistance of the combination? You know that RS is equal to R1 plus R2. Okay, now it's a very simple thing. You know that they have the same length but their cross sectional area is different. ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು? You take the R1 and R2. Since the material is same, the resistivity is also same, and therefore your from the formula R is equal to rho into L by A, you apply 2 times. R1 A1 and your R2 is equal to rho into L by A2. Okay, now you divide one by the other and your R2 by R1 is equal to, these two are constant. So therefore it is equal to A1 by A2. He says it is 3:1. A1 is the area of the first one. And therefore your R2 is equal to 3 into R1 and it is 3 into R1 is equal to 10 and therefore your total resistance RS is equal to, and that's equal to 30 ohms, and your total resistance RS is equal to R1 plus R2 and therefore RS is equal to 10 plus 30 and this comes out to be equal to 40 ohms. Okay, ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕಿದೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ. Therefore here the alternative for this is equal to 40 ohms and you search for the various alternative given there, therefore answer is D. In hydrogen atom an electron is revolving in the orbit of hydrogen in the orbit of radius 0.53 angstroms with a 6.6 × 10⁻15 rotations per second. Magnetic field produced at the center will be, again it's a very simple question. He wants to calculate the magnetic field produced at the center but he has not given the current. But he has given the radius, he has given, and the current he has given, and he has given the frequency. And moreover he has not given that, he says he has said electron, and therefore magnetic field at the center. Remember, magnetic field at the center, and R is the radius and I is the current. You want to calculate the field at the center. Magnetic field at the center is given by mu naught by 4 pi 2 pi Ni by R. N illa, number of turns is equal to only 1. Now ಇವಾಗ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ what's the magnetic field at the center ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. Look, I ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, I ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತೀರಾ? You know that your I is equal to current by time and it is nothing but E into the frequency. And therefore you change over the formula. BC is equal to, this value is equal to 10⁻⁻7 2 into 3.142 into, in the place of I we write E into F, all divided by radius is 0.5 angstroms. He has given it as 0.53 into 10⁻⁻10. Now you rearrange these terms. It is 2 into 3.14 divided by 0. You can take approximately it as a 0.5 into 10⁻³ into electron has a charge of 1.6 into 10⁻⁻19 into the frequency he has given it as 6.6 into 10⁻⁵. 6.6 into 10⁻⁵. You again rearrange these terms. Okay, now this is equal to 0.5. The half comes to numerator. It is 4 into 3.14 into 1.6 into 6.6 into, look at these values. This is 10⁻⁵, 10⁻⁵ is 18, 10⁻⁻19 is there and it's equal to -1. Now you simplify all these things. On simplification of all these things, you will get it is to be equal to 12.5 Weber per meter square, which is nothing but the center electric field at the center, magnetic field at the center of the coil, and here the answer would be C is the answer. This simplification you have to do. Okay, this simplification and then you ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊರಟೋಗಬೇಕು ಇದನ್ನ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಆಗಿ. Okay, next. See, the question is, two wires of same length are shaped into a square and a circle. If they carry the same current, the ratio of the magnetic moment is equal to. So your two wires are done like this, and other is a circle. Of course, answer for this question is equal to C, that is equal to pi is to 4. So answer is C, pi is to 4. Next, how to solve this one? In question and kelta idare. So two wires have the same length. One is shaped into square and other is shaped into the circle, and they carry the same current. Ratio of the magnetic moment ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು. The magnetic moment is given by the formula I into A. ಎರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಹರಿತಾ ಇದೆ. Okay, and therefore in both the cases current is same, and your magnetic moment is given by the formula, generalized formula I into A. You apply it for a square, area of the square, and you apply it for the circle. Current is going to be the same, that's why we have not changed. His problem is, what is the ratio? So therefore your AS divided by AC. ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಏರಿಯಾ ನೋಡಿ, that is equal to, ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು, area is equal to the length into length. ನೋಡಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಲೆಂತ್ is equal to L. ಅವಾಗ ಇದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, L by 4, L by 4, L by 4, L by 4. ಇದು ಏರಿಯಾ ಏನು, this is equal to, area is equal to L by 4 into L by 4. And here this is R is the radius, and for which you know that total length L is equal to circumference, which is 2 pi R, and therefore your R is equal to L by 2 pi, but area is equal to pi into R square. R square ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ, so that is equal to L by 2 pi whole square. Now you simplify this. ಇದನ್ನು simplify ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗೋಯ್ತು, this comes out to be L square by 16 whole divided by pi into L square divided by 4 pi square. Therefore your magnetic moment of the square divided by magnetic moment of the circle is equal to your L square get cancelled, pi also get cancelled, one of the pi comes to numerator, 4 also comes to numerator, 16 will be in the denominator. Your answer is pi by 4. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ, magnetic moment of the square is to magnetic moment of the circle is equal to pi is to 4. Question is, the magnetic field is applied in a direction perpendicular to the direction of the cathode ray. So here is a stream of electrons, it's a cathode ray. I am applying the magnetic field perpendicular to this. ಆವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. Then there energy decreases, energy increases, momentum increases. Momentum energy remains unchanged, therefore answer for this question is D. ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಏನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದಂದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಪರ್ಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅದು ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ರೇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ದ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಪರ್ಪೆಂಡಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟು ದ ಮೋಷನ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇದ್ರ ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ and even the energy also doesn't change energy and the momentum both will not change ಅದೇನು ಅಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಆಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇನೇ ಹೊರತು ಬಟ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಮತ್ತು ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಎರಡೂ ಕೂಡ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ರೇಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೇನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ರೌಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ರೌಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದರದ್ದು ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗೋಯ್ತು ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ರಿಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಕೈನೆಟಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎರಡು ರಿಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇರಬೇಕು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಎ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 30 If two streams of proton move parallel to each other in the same direction, then they do not exert any pressure. Mark for B, they repel each other. Answer for this question is equal to B. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ನೀವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಓದಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನೀವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ ಸರ್ ಎರಡು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತೀರಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಇದು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ two conductors carrying current in the same direction ಆ ಕೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇದು it is not that case ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಓದಿ two streams of proton move parallel so here is a stream of proton here is another stream of proton they move parallel ಎರಡು ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ರಿಪಲ್ಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ದೇ ರಿಪೆಲ್ ಈಚ್ ಅದರ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಸೊ ಯುವರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ರಿಪಲ್ಸಿವ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ಅದು ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಟು ದ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಾಮಿನೇಟ್ ಓವರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ ರಿಪಲ್ಸಿವ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಡಾಮಿನೇಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವೆರಡು ರಿಪೆಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಓಕೆ